ladies and gentlemen, can we please be upstanding as we welcome the arrival of the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aina Oguntala, FNSE, and her entourage. Please let us have our seats. You are welcome, Madam President. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the 29th October lecture titled Evaluating Nigeria Power Sector Reforms 2005 to 2023, a quantitative analysis of technical performance and regulatory impact. Can we please be upstanding as we begin this event with the national anthem? Together we recite the third stanza of the national anthem as our opening prayer. Together we pray, O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen. Thank you all very much. Let us have our seats. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies for starting this event at this time, but we assure you it's going to be a very wonderful and interactive session. But before we commence, may I please request that you turn to the person on your left and on your right and greet that person. Welcome to October lecture, but in your dialect. Let's do that. I can wonder what the President and Engineer Wudil. Anyway, Engineer Tasiu Wudil is a titled chief in Yoruba land, so you will understand. But the Hausa, I'm very sure, Madam President understands too. Thank you all very much. Exactly. Good morning, Madam President, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, past presidents, council members, fellow corporate members, our international delegates, we have them online, our honored special guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special moment in the life of our profession. This is the Nigerian Society of Engineers Biennial National Distinguished Lecture, fondly known as the NSE October Lecture, 29th in the series. The gathering where we honor our past presidents, harvest their wisdom, and spark ideas that shape policy, industry, and the future of engineering in Nigeria and beyond. Today's lecture is not just another talk. It is a data-driven reckoning of nearly 2 decades of reform in our power sector. We will look at technical performance, regulatory outcomes, investment signals, and what those numbers mean for business, for service delivery, and for the everyday Nigerian who flips a switch expecting power. Why does this matter? Because power is the backbone of industry, hospitals, schools, commerce. The reforms between 2005 and 2023 affected generation, transmission, distribution, investor confidence, and millions of lives. Today we get evidence, not opinion, and we sharpen our thinking for better policy, smarter engineering solutions, and stronger partnerships across the continent and the world. Our distinguished lecturer is a true authority across the power value chain, a leader who blends engineering mastery with bold digital vision, affectionately known as the Digital President, the 33rd President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. It is therefore my honor to welcome and introduce to you dignitaries that are gracing this event. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that we welcome to this event a visionary leader and tireless champion of professional excellence and innovation, the 34th President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and the first female president in our society's 67-year history, the chairman of today's distinguished lecture. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming the President and Chairman in Council of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. You're welcome, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, a true authority across the power value chain, a leader who blends engineering mastery with both digital vision, who we affectionately call the Digital President. It is my privilege to introduce the distinguished lecturer of today, the 33rd President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, member of the National Institute. We have here present also our special guest of honor, in person, an authority in the power sector. So you would see that the topic resonates and is synonymous with this person. He is a honorary fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the GMD Sahara Power Group, Dr. Kola Adeshina, MFR. But unfortunately, he is here in the person of Engineer Dr. Godwin Emmanuel, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the head of Generation Sahara Power Group. A round of applause for him. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here present at these events past president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. We have here the past president who served in the year 2008 to 2009, our amiable Engineer Kashim Abdul Ali, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Academy of Engineering, member of the National Institute. We have here present also a past president who served in the year 2014 to 2015, our very own engineer, Ademola Isaac Olorunfemi, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Academy of Engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, we have vice presidents of the Nigerian Society of Engineers here present. We have the vice president in charge of corporate services, who is equally spearheading the affairs of this lecture event. Please let us make welcome Engineer Dr. Felicia Nnenna Agubata, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. We have present here at this event the Vice President Professional Development, Engineer Dr. Aluya Dauda Okoduga, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Also present at this event is the Vice President Membership Services, Engineer Ibrahim Aliu Dutsima, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. A round of applause for him. We have present, apologies, I'll quickly take this. Ladies and gentlemen, please can you display our online participants? We have online our amiable and distinguished Deputy President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Alimasuya Rabiu, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow of the Academy of Engineering, Member of the Order of the Federal Republic. Let's put our hands together for him. You are very, very much welcome, sir. He is the Shigari of Lafia. I go back to the Vice President. We have the Vice President Assets Management here present. Let's make welcome Engineer Rachel Uge, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. We have national members, ESCO members of NSE here present. We have the National ESCO Member Corporate Services, Engineer Dauda Musa, FNSE. Round of applause for him. You're welcome. We have also present Engineer Dr. Agbiji Ndifom, FNSE. The ESCO Member Membership Services. We have ESCO Member Professional Development, Engineer Abraham Agadiki, FNSE. You are welcome. And we have the ESCO Member Engineering Technology and Innovation Management, Engineer Professor Olumide Moses Ogundikpe, FNSE. You're welcome. We have ESCO Member Assets Management, Engineer Usman A. Abubakar, FNSE. You are welcome. And we have ESCO Member Engineer Tijani Dayabu, FNSE. I saw him earlier. Oh, you are welcome, sir. We have very special guests we have invited to this event. We have here representing the COO of Egbin Power PLC, Engineer Mukhtar Bono, ably represented by the AGM Engineer Bashiru Mohammed, FNSE. A round of applause for him. We have representing the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, is represented here by Engineer Major General S.T. Shafaru. Let's put our hands together for him. You're welcome. And while I take this fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, we have a very special people, none that have gone to the military. These are graduates of the Senior Executive Course 46 of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, where our guest lecturer just graduated from. Some may be online. Please, let's put our hands together for them. We have here also present Engineer Distinguished Senator Femi Kila, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow of the Academy of Engineering, and he asked me not to forget this, Fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers. The only president of that institution. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here a member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Dr. Joshua Audu Ghana. He is the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Power. He is representing the Chairman, House Committee on Power. Let's put our hands together for him. You're welcome. We have also here the Managing Director of Alpha Prazis Nigeria Limited, Engineer Ahmed Ibrahim, MNSC. You're welcome, sir. We have also the representative of the Executive Secretary of the PTDF, Engineer Paul Ohabuike, MNSC. A round of applause for him. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome and recognize also the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, our very own Engineer Abubakar Halilu Muazu, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. We have past Vice Presidents of the Nigerian Society of Engineers here present in no particular order. May I recognize past Vice President, Engineer Ademola Isaac Aguru, FNSE. I missed it. I'll correct it in my next session. Yes, sir. We have Engineer Adamu Ushiki, FNSC. You're welcome. I recognize also Engineer Zekeri Aitogo, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Let's put our hands together for him, a former Executive Secretary of NSC. We have also here present Engineer Bemigo Ofuoyeno, FNSC, past Vice President of NSC. We have also present here Engineer Valerie Agberagba, FNSC, past Vice President of NSC. We also have here present Engineer Joseph Sunday Adebayo, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, past Vice President of NSC. Ladies and gentlemen, all national chairmen of divisions here present, please, wherever you are, wave your hands. We welcome you. You are very, very much welcome. All branch chairmen of NSC here present, please, wave your hands. Let's take our attendance. You are welcome. All the fellows of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, can you please make some noise wherever you are? Our distinguished fellows, we appreciate you. You are welcome. All directors of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and staff, corporate members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and I can see here present a former registrar of Koren, our very own engineer, Camilla Wopa Maliki, FNSC, FAH. You are welcome. Young engineers and student members, gentlemen of the press, the band, the protocols, the ushers, the medias, friends and well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Engineer Emmanuel Oshala Ejika, MNSC PMP, and I'll be your Director of Programs. Thank you. But before we continue to the items on the program of schedule, may I quickly request the media team to play the safety tips. Thank you.
Welcome to the Nigerian Society of Engineers. The NSC complies with all applicable statutory and regulatory requirements and is keen to satisfy all our stakeholders. Our premises are secure and covered with a comprehensive CCTV monitoring system. Your safety is our priority. Before we begin today's proceedings, please take a moment to familiarize yourself with important safety information regarding this location. Emergency exits and fire safety. In the event of an emergency requiring evacuation, do note that this auditorium has 3 exits. The main entrance exit at the front of the hall, a side exit leading outside, a rear exit connecting to the main building. The exits in the auditorium are clearly marked to guide you to safety. Take a moment to identify the nearest exit to your seat. During the emergency, please remain calm and please move in an orderly manner through the nearest exit that leads outside. Once outside, proceed to the designated assembly point located at the extreme end of the car park to the rear of the building. Please remain at the assembly point until you receive confirmation that it is safe to return. Security emergency procedures. In the unlikely event of a security emergency occurring, please remain calm as the building will go into lockdown mode. During a lockdown, do not attempt to use any lifts. Instead, proceed through the nearest exit leading from the main building, where security personnel will guide you to the muster point. Please remain there until the announcement is made that it is safe to go back in. For your convenience, restrooms are located at the rear of the platform. They are clearly marked for male and female use and can be accessed via the staircases on both sides of the platform. Medical emergency procedures. Should a health emergency arise, only trained first responders will be permitted to administer CPR or first aid. For urgent medical care, vehicles are on standby to transport individuals to the NSE's retainer hospital, where medical professionals are available to provide emergency treatment. If you need to report an emergency, please call the designated emergency contact at
080-397-54848
or 080-625-57586. All guests and visitors at the Engineering Center are reminded to keep personal items like bags, wallets, and phones always secure. Do not leave your valuables unattended to. The security operatives at the center are trained and are ready to deal with any emergencies. Your cooperation in following these safety protocols ensures the well-being of everyone present. Thank you for your attention. We wish you productive and safe deliberations.
Thank you too. And if you need anything, we have our beautiful ushers wearing black and white hats. You just talk to them and you have whatever that you want. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to recognize a trailblazer in the engineering profession, the 34th president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the first female to hold this prestigious position in the society's 67-year history. Known for her visionary agenda of rebirthing the NSE, a transformative initiative aimed at fostering growth, empowerment, and advancement in engineering with 5 strategic pillars of focus. 1, membership development. 2, intergovernmental industry academia collaborations. 3, international relations. 4, community impact. And the 5th, reimaging of the NSE. Ladies and gentlemen, she is called the woman of substantial substance by Are Babalola San. Please, with a standing ovation, join me in welcoming to the podium the President and Chairman in Council of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, FNSE, for her address.
Thank you. Please be seated. Today is a very special day. It is a day that everybody who becomes the president of NSE looks forward to. And I have the honor and privilege of welcoming everybody here today. But I'd like to start by recognizing my predecessors, the giants on whose shoulders I stand very proudly as the 34th president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And then, of course, because we wouldn't be here if the program was not curated specially for them. And so, with singular honor and humility, I'd like to recognize the President, Nigerian Society of Engineers in years 2008 and 2009, Engineer Kashim Abdul Ali, FNSE, FANG, MNI. I'd also like to recognize Engineer Ademola Isaac Olorunfemi, FNSE, FANG, President 2014-2015. Every time I see you guys seated, I feel very happy and honored. Thank you, sir, for all that you have done for the society, and which you keep doing, guiding us and ensuring that we do not make too many mistakes. Can you please give them another round of applause? I'd like to recognize my immediate predecessor. Like I always say, the first president of NSE to hand over to a female president. Even when people kept saying NSE was not ready for a female president, he was very happy to support me and to ensure that he handed over at the right time, and then he has continued to guide me to ensure the success of his successor. Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSE MNI, the lecturer of today, the inaugural lecturer of the October lecture. I'd like to recognize the special guest of honor of today, Mr. Akola Adesina, Honorary Fellow, Nigerian Society of Engineers, who is ably represented. I'd also like to recognize someone here today. It's someone who has been a part of the journey of my life. Someone who mentored me right from when I joined the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Someone who ensured, even at times when I faltered, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to continue to serve, he prodded me on and encouraged me. And some of the things that he told me at the time have come to pass, and many of them are things that are still useful to me today. I'd like to recognize very specially Engineer Adefemi Kila, Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, the Olaye of Igwebe. I call him Baba Oba. Those of you who understand Yoruba will know the meaning of Baba Oba. That's the father of the king. Very distinguished guests here present. The Chief of Army Staff, who is ably represented by one of our own. Distinguished fellows, Vice Presidents of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, past and present. Distinguished National Exco members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, past and present. Chairmen of divisions of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, chairmen of branches, very distinguished corporate members, students and members, and young engineers of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Now, I just made an error, and it's due to the fact that, good as we are at digital things, we still make some error from time to time. And it's the fact that I did not remember to recognize my deputy president at the appropriate time, because I'm not seeing him seated here. But he's someone who I have a lot of respect for, a man who has distinguished himself, both academically, professionally, and traditionally. He is the Shigeri of Lafia, and no other than Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Nigerian Academy of Engineering, member of the Order of the Federal Republic. My DP, my apologies, please. On behalf of the Council, the Executive Committee, and the entire members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, it is my singular honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this 29th edition of the NSE October Lecture Series. Nigeria's 65th Independence Anniversary. This lecture series traditionally holds within the euphoria of our nation's independence celebration, and this year is no exception. Just 2 days ago, Nigeria marked her 65th independence anniversary, a moment of deep reflection and renewed hope. I take this opportunity to heartily congratulate the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and indeed, everyone present here today. We must continue to acknowledge the patriotic roles of our resilient citizens, and particularly the engineering professionals whose tireless efforts continue to drive national development. Please give yourselves a round of applause. The purpose of the October Lecture Series. Even though the Director of Programs has given you an insight, I'd like to also state, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the October Lecture was instituted as a strategic platform for the Nigerian Society of Engineers to, 1, articulate its position on critical national issues, 2, promote the visibility and relevance of engineering in national discourse, 3, engage stakeholders across public and private sectors on the role of engineering in sustainable development, and most importantly, to showcase the knowledge, wisdom, and the professional expertise of our revered past presidents, whose leadership and contribution continue to inspire generations of engineers. This gathering, therefore, brings together thought leaders, policymakers, industry experts, and engineering professionals for impactful dialogue on issues that shape our national future. With over 6 decades of service to the nation, the Nigerian Society of Engineers remains committed to promoting engineering excellence, upholding ethical standards, and contributing meaningfully to nation building. Engineers as partners in national development. Today, Nigeria is confronted with several complex challenges, ranging from widespread poverty, food insecurity, and deteriorating infrastructure to healthcare inefficiencies and energy crisis. As engineers, we believe these are not abstract problems. They are real, technical, and solvable challenges that we must rise, and we must rise to the occasion. It is my strong belief that governments at all levels must begin to more deliberately engage Nigerian engineers to prefer practical, scalable, and homegrown solutions to our challenges. Acknowledging past presidents and previous lecturers. At this point, let me recognize again and appreciate our revered past presidents, whose invaluable contributions over the years have sustained the legacy of this lecture series. Their wisdom, foresight, and passion for the engineering profession have continually shaped the direction of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And I'd like to use the opportunity to welcome the president of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. I call him the global president, my world president. He was president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in years 2012 and 2013. And he later became the president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations in years 2014 to 2016. And today, he stands proudly representing all of us at the global level as the president. Please, sir, Engineer Mustafa Balarabe Shehu, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Academy of Engineering. Thank you very much, sir, for all that you do to make us very, very proud. I'd like to throw some spotlight on today's lecturer, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSC MNI. It is with great pride that I introduce our distinguished lecturer for the 29th NSC lecture, October lecture, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSC MNI. The president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers for the years 2022 and 2023. The man who handed over the baton to me. An accomplished power engineer, civil servant, and erudite scholar, Engineer Wudil's tenure as president was marked by innovations, transparency, and strategic engagements. Fondly referred to as the digital president during his presidency, he championed the deployment of cutting-edge ICT solutions within the society and improved intergovernmental and industry relations. Notable achievements under his leadership include the establishment of the NSC Smart Innovation Hub, installation of a 100 kVA solar power system at the National Engineering Center to champion energy efficiency. Thank you. Initiation of the ISO 9001-2015 certification process for the NSC. And I'm proud to say that today we have been certified. Advocacy for local content integration and enhanced engineering capacity utilization in national development, among so many others. Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSC MNI, is a trailblazer and a passionate advocate for the engineering profession. His legacy continues to inspire us all. Please join me again to give him a big round of applause. Today's lecture, titled Evaluating Nigeria's Power Sector Reforms, 2005 to 2023, a quantitative analysis of technical performance and regulatory impact, is both timely and strategic. The topic resonates deeply with the ongoing national conversations around sustainable electricity supply, energy transition, and power sector efficiency. I'm confident that Engineer Wudil will, as usual, bring his trademark depth, clarity, and practical insight to this very important subject. And as we gather here today, in pursuit of ideas that will shape the future of the power sector, let me use this opportunity to invite Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers to the flagship event of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, our 2025 International Engineering Conference and Annual General Meeting, which is scheduled to take place from December 1 to 5, year 2025, at the International Conference Center, University of Ibadan, Oyo State. The theme of this year's conference is Engineering Innovation for a Sustainable Blue Economy. This theme complements our conversations today and underscores the growing global emphasis on harnessing engineering solutions for the sustainable use of our oceans and aquatic ecosystems. As the largest engineering gathering in sub-Saharan Africa, this annual conference attracts over 6,000 participants from around the world, including engineers, academics, industry leaders, policymakers, the military, and development partners. I, therefore, encourage everyone who has not to register and plan to actively participate in this landmark event. Of course, you can find the full details on our website, on the conference website, or if you are a financial member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, you can use the NSC membership app to access information. In conclusion, I'd like to invite you all to relax and fully engage with the proceedings of the day. May these events spark new ideas, inspire action, and strengthen our collective resolve to advance engineering and national development. God bless the Nigerian Society of Engineers. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for that wonderful address. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we are all eager to listen to the lecture, but before then, we'll quickly take the unveiling of the second and third editions of Wisdom of Nigerian Engineers. And that will be done by the President and Chairman in Council of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, as I call members, the VP Corporate Services, to please help.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with particular deference to my past president here, I think about a year or so ago, we decided that even though we do have copies of the series of the lectures, it would be good to have them put together, as Wisdom of Nigerian Engineers, which is the title that is usually given to the copies of the lecture. And today, we have found lectures of my ancestors. I said they are my ancestors because many of them have gone, some of them have gone, and some of them are still very, very active. Some are not here today because they do not travel so much anymore. But the wisdom of the Nigerian engineer remains with them, and we have documented the series today. So it is my honor and privilege to unveil the volumes 1, 2, and 3. We have 3 volumes here for unveiling. And I'd like to invite first the presidents who were part of this. And I'll start with the oldest here. I'm sure he's representing the ancestors, not the ones who are gone. Engineer Kashim Abdulali, FNSC MNI. Engineer Mustafa Balarabi Shehu, President 2012-2013. Engineer Ademola Isaac Olorunfemi, President 2014-2015. And then the IPP, who is about to join them. Please join them. They say it's after you have delivered the October lecture that you become a full-fledged past president. But then, come January 1, 2026, inshallah, you will become past president. I will stop referring to him as IPP. I'd like to invite the special guest of honor to kindly join. Of course, the representative of the Chief of Army Staff, please join. Of course, the representative of the MD of Engr Power Station, please. Okay. The MD Alpha Praxis Nigeria Limited. The Chairman House Committee on Power. It's your call, sir. Please join them. The ESPTDF. And of course, Baba Oba himself. Engineer Senator Adefemi Kila. Wherever you wish. I'd like to, well, so that I'm not the only woman here, I'd like to invite my vice president to please join. Yes. So, we'll just, let's move this forward so we can, yes. But I'm sure there are. Thank you, sir, for reminding me that I need to collect money from everybody who is unveiling. My ogas say this is the money side. That's the committee of authors. You're on the future side. Come this way. Madam CS, VPCS, come this way. You belong to the future. So, on behalf of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and to the glory of God, for the benefit of mankind, we shall all together unveil this. I'd like some of you to please come forward. Please come forward and touch. Just make sure that your hand touches the fabric. And we'll spell NSE. This side, please. So we'll spell NSE. And when I pronounce the E, we shall unveil. Yes, this way, please. Don't pull that. Yes. So, N, S, E. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the wisdom of Nigerian engineers in booklets, series 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. Thank you, sirs. Thank you. So we'll get copies for photograph.
Well done, sir. I want to take a picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, one of it. No, just take one. We don't need the three. We don't need all three. Just one.
Yes, let's spread. No, sir, you can spread. You can spread. Ladies and gentlemen, so to those that are unveiled, you have 1 minute to address us. Let's do that in 1 minute. Thank you. So please, we just come up 1 minute and then you go down. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. We'll take that during the goodwill messages. Ladies and gentlemen, now to the time that we have been waiting for, especially, that is the lecture for this event. May I now request the guest lecturer to be upstanding or seated. Okay. May I request our guest lecturer, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSC MNI, to rise and be upstanding as we watch the documentary of him. Thank you. Media, please.
Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil is an indigenous of Kano State. He is a PhD student in electrical engineering, power and machines at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, where he obtained both a bachelor's and master's of engineering in electrical engineering. For his basic education, he attended Wudil Central Primary School, where he obtained his primary school leaving certificate. He proceeded to Government Technical College, Wudil, and Government Science Secondary School, Kudu, where he obtained his GCE O-level. Furthermore, Engineer Wudil had his privileged training at the Professional Skills Training Center, Kainji. In his working career, he was a power system protection control and metering engineer. His responsibilities include design, construction and maintenance of transformers, lines and substation. He headed the networks unit of the Engineering Performance and Monitoring Division of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission from 2007 to 2021. He was responsible for technical regulations and standardization in the Nigerian electricity supply industry and led the team in the development of technical codes and standards like the Grid Code, Distribution Code, Metering Code, Smart Metering Regulation, guidelines for the certification of metering services, and related matters. Also, he was involved in the review of some IEC metering standards and the development of the AFSEC, African Committee of IEC Guide of Application of Standards for Smart Metering Systems in Africa, and the certification of all meter manufacturing companies, importers and installers from 2013 to June 2021. He was the first Nigerian engineer to qualify as Utility Regulation Specialist, IP3, Washington, D.C. Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil has authored and presented numerous technical papers, both nationally and internationally, addressing critical aspects of power system operations, protection coordination, smart metering, renewable energy, deregulation and distribution code reviews. His scholarly works span over 2 decades and have contributed significantly to the evolution of Nigeria's power sector, including pioneering research on grid codes, transmission loss formulas, and innovative energy solutions. He has undergone specialized training across the globe in areas such as energy regulation, strategic management, public-private partnerships, and electricity distribution management, earning certifications like Certified Energy Manager and Certified Public-Private Partnership Specialists. His community engagements include serving as an external examiner at the Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa and active involvement with IEEE, where he has served in various leadership roles, including Chair of the Power and Energy Society, Nigeria Chapter. These achievements reflect his deep commitment to technical excellence, regulatory development, and professional service in the energy sector. Engineer Wudil is a registered professional engineer, electrical, Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Koren, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, Senior Member, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, New York, USA, Member, Power and Energy Society, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Fellow, Nigerian Institute of Management, Professional Member, American Society of Safety Engineers, ASSE, and many more. Engineer Wudil is a graduate of the Senior Executive Course 46 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Kuru, Jos, and is now a member of the National Institute, MNI. He is a chairman, principal consultant of Grid Link Power and Energy Systems Limited, a firm desirous of rising to the challenges of building a power and energy sector that works. He is also an executive director at Kenol Nigeria Limited. In July 2025, he was appointed as a member of the Abia State Advisory Council on Electricity by His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti, OFR, the Executive Governor of Abia State. Engineer Wudil was the 33rd President, serving from 2022 to 2023, and the immediate past President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our distinguished lecturer, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSE MNI. A round of applause for him.
Madam President, I believe you have established a very strong protocol. For want of time, I think I will stand on that protocol. However, the time you gave me, 40 minutes, I appeal to you that it is too short for this lecture. I have summarized the lecture of 46 pages to 11 pages, and I will still summarize the 11 pages. I just want to share what my predecessor did, one of our past presidents. During his October lecture, he bombarded us with many pictures. Late Engineer Folisheke Abidemi Shomolu. So I've decided to do that for us to whet our appetite on the nature of the Nigerian electricity networks. And while that is going, I would like to still recognize the past presidents. Please go ahead, go ahead. Yes, Dr. Kola sent me a video which I want to share with you. So please, can we have the video? No voice. Yes. Can we go to introduction, please? Today, I stand before you to discuss one of the most critical infrastructural challenges facing Nigeria, and indeed much of sub-Saharan Africa, the transformation of our power sector. The paper analyzes Nigeria's power sector reforms from 2005 to 2023, focusing on technical performance improvements, regulatory impacts, and the broader implications of transitioning from a state-controlled monopoly to a liberalized market structure. Reliable electricity access is crucial for sustainable development, particularly in this country. It serves as a critical case study because it is the continent's largest economy and most populous nation, black nation. Electricity access has remained a central challenge for Nigeria, and its pre-reform era marked by widespread inefficiencies and infrastructural deficits. The reforms aim to address the issues by introducing private sector participation, creating independent regulatory institutions, and restructuring the electricity market to improve service delivery, attract investment, and enhance overall system reliability. Let us look at pre-reform era. Before the reforms, Nigeria's electricity sector was dominated by the National Electric Power Authority, later renamed Power Holding Company. This vertically integrated monopoly controls generation, transmission, and distribution. However, it suffered chronic underinvestment, operational inefficiencies, and widespread power outages. Several key issues characterize this period. Infrastructural deficit. By 1999, only 19 of 79 generating units were operational in Nigeria. No new power infrastructure was completed between 1989 and 1999 for 10 years. Access deficit. Approximately 90 million Nigerians lacked access to electricity in 1999, representing 75% of the population. Rural areas were particularly underserved, limiting economic activities and social welfare. So what are the economic losses? Power failures caused annual losses of approximately $50 billion, severely impacting industrial productivity and economic growth. Manufacturing firms relied heavily on expensive diesel generators, increasing production costs and reducing competitiveness. Financial unsustainability of the industry. NEPA operated with massive debt, poor revenue collection, and below-cost tariffs, exacerbating its inefficiencies. Electricity theft, non-payment by consumers, and operational inefficiencies further strained the financial viability of the sector. What are the reasons for the reform? The catastrophic state of Nigeria's electricity sector necessitated comprehensive reforms. Key drivers include infrastructural stagnation, which we have mentioned, economic impacts, manufacturing capacity utilization rates declined to 78% in 2000. Industrial sector, which is critical for economic development, faced significant constraints due to energy shortages. There was a legislative action. The National Electric Power Policy 2000 was issued by the civilian government of President Olusegun Obasanjo. This policy laid the groundwork for Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005. Reform, work, and implementation. The Electric Power Sector Reform Act outlined a comprehensive restructuring plan aimed at reducing the sector's inefficiencies and attracting private investments. Key elements of the reform include unbundling NEPA, establishment of NEC, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission was created as an independent regulator that is subject for discussion to oversee market operations, set tariffs, and enforce compliance with technical and commercial standards. Privatization. After the issue of the Act, the privatization came in 2013. Generation and distribution assets were privatized to attract private sector investment and improve efficiency. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, remained under government ownership to ensure coordinated transmission operations. What are the phases of the reform? Phase 1, institutional restructuring. This phase focused on breaking up the monopoly structure and establishing new institutional arrangements. Key developments include regulatory oversight in the Electricity Act 2005. NAC was tasked with overseeing the sector, setting tariffs, and ensuring compliance. Under the Electricity Act 2023, states can enact their electricity laws to have state electricity markets and institutions alike. Transmission system management. Under the Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005, TCN was established to manage the transmission network, including system operations and market operations, which remain a natural monopoly. Under the Electricity Act, TCN is restructured into two now. The Transmission Service Provider as TCN and the Nigerian Independent System Operator, where my immediate boss is heading now. The state electricity laws and regulatory bodies were established. About 11 state regulatory agencies have been established, including the one in Abia State where we advise the governor. Phase 2, privatization and market creation. The privatization of generation and distribution assets marked one of the most extensive privatization exercises in Africa. Key outcomes include private sector participation, hybrid reform models, which Nigeria adopted, combining elements of centralized coordination with market mechanism to suit its economic context. Phase 3, market development and performance enhancement. This phase focused on deepening market mechanisms, improving technical performance, addressing persistent challenges, which include advanced regulatory frameworks and gradual improvement. Significant challenges remain, including financial sustainability and infrastructural deficits. Technical and quantitative performance analysis. Now that we know there has been these reforms, how is the performance? Generation. Installed capacity increased from approximately 6,000 megawatts in 2005 to over 13,000 megawatts by 2023. Despite this expansion, average generation output consistently remained below 50% of installed capacity due to gas supply constraints, transmission bottlenecks, and maintenance challenges. Transmission system. Transmission losses range from 8 to 12%, which means if you are generating 1,000 megawatts, you lose 80 megawatts or 120 megawatts in transmission. Frequent system collapses and capacity constraints limited power delivery to end consumers. Distribution system. Performance varies significantly across the 11 distribution companies, with collection and efficiency ranging from 30 to over 80%. High technical and commercial losses persisted, affecting service quality and financial viability. The economic impact. Private sector investment exceeded over $10 billion, contributing to job creation and technology transfer. Industrial sector growth remained constrained by unreliable electricity. Now, regulatory impact. NEC played a central role in shaping the reform power sector. Key achievements and challenges include: 1, tariff regulation. NEC introduced the service-based tariff framework, linking tariffs to service quality. This one is also an issue for discussion. Political interference and affordability concerns undermine the implementation of cost-reflective tariffs. We know there was a year a particular tariff was frozen because there was election. 2, market supervision. NEC monitor compliance with licensing conditions, technical standards, and market rules. This monitoring is also subject for discussion, whether it is effective or not. Enforcement capacity was limited by resource constraints and the complex political economy of the sector. Consumer protection. Service quality standards, complaint mechanisms, and customer satisfaction surveys were conducted. But in my opinion, they were not enough, and they did not cover enough areas. Persistent service quality issues and consumer dissatisfaction remain a big challenge. Comparative studies or reform outcomes. In my sojourn at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, as a requirement, I had to do an individual research project. And that project was to evaluate the reforms. While doing that, I stumbled on a paper the research was conducted in Ekiti State. Mine was conducted nationwide. But the papers are almost saying the same thing. So I compare the two. On consumer satisfaction, both studies found limited consumer benefits and persistent dissatisfaction with service delivery. Adebanji et al. Reported only 32.37% agreement on significant improvement, while Wudil et al. Found that 50.62% of respondents believe consumers did not directly benefit. Economic development. On economic development, the two studies, minimal positive impact on economic growth and industrial competitiveness was observed due to the reform. Wudil et al. Highlighted employment generation failures and inadequate infrastructural funding. Infrastructural challenges, high technical losses, defective metering systems, and inefficient billing processes were identified as major issues. In trying to solve some of these problems identified, the Commission came up with service-based tariff. In 2020, it has linked it to electricity tariffs for service quality, incentivizing distribution companies to improve infrastructure. Let's look at the advantages. It has enhanced the revenue of the revenue generation of the market, because the market was going down, so they had to do that. Improve service quality incentives for distribution companies, regulatory flexibility to adopt tariffs based on service delivery. However, there are challenges. Consumer affordability. We all know those on Band A, they keep complaining. And the service is not commensurate with the stated service of 20 to 18 hours. Limited correlation between tariff structures and actual service improvement. I believe the regulator was not ready for service-based tariff, because the regulator has no means of ensuring that the customer is getting the service he deserves, because the monitoring is done at the feeder level, at 33 level. But if the regulator is ready, he would have been asking the individual customers, how many hours did you receive? If he has, and you have the system. All smart meters can do that. Poor and inadequate performance monitoring of the quality of service, exactly. So I hope the state electricity regulatory commissions will take lead from this. Lessons learned. Key lessons from Nigeria's reform experience include institutional design. Yes, there was an ambitious design when NEC came in. There were a lot of support from World Bank, from African Development Bank, from American government, from Indian government, from so many governments. And there was a lot of technology transfer between the staff of NEC and staff of some of those regulatory agencies. Institutional design. Strong, independent regulatory institutions are essential for effective governance and performance. We need to have this. Financial sustainability. Cost-reflective tariffs and transparent subsidy mechanisms are crucial for long-term viability. Or alternatively, we call it sustainability. Stakeholder engagement. Transparent communication and consensus building are vital for reform success. The regulator needs to do a lot on this, and state regulatory agencies should take a cue also and do a lot of stakeholder engagement, meaningful stakeholder engagement, not asking stakeholders to come to a 5-star hotel. And even the stakeholder will not be able to go to the gate of that hotel. But you need to come back with a local solution to engage stakeholders. Future context-specific solutions, reform models must be adapted to local conditions rather than replicated from other countries or from one state to another. If Lagos State is able to do something, it does not fit for Borno State because the culture and a lot of parameters are not the same. So you have to look at that. Future prospects. The paper outlines strategic priorities for the next phase of development. Infrastructural investment, addressing generation, transmission, and distribution deficits through coordinated public and private You can do that by deploying smart IoT, facial measurement units, and so many. And these ones are not rocket science. They can be deployed once we have the political will. Regional integration. Participating in regional power market initiatives to enhance system reliability and reduce costs. We are members of the WAP, West African Power Pool, but we are not contiguously connected. We are not connected synchronously to the remaining West Africa. Anywhere we supply, we are alone. We are not connected to the system of that country because our system is not stable. It cannot connect. So the solutions is very near, and we have the solution in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't have the ears of government. Policy reforms. Strengthening regulatory institutions, improving financial sustainability, and enhancing consumer protection mechanism is of high importance. Conclusion. Nigeria's power sector reform represents significant progress in transforming a state-controlled monopoly into a liberalized market structure. Achievements include capacity expansion, regulatory development, private sector engagement. However, challenges such as financial sustainability, service quality, and infrastructure deficit abound. The paper emphasizes the importance of long-term commitment, institutional capacity building, and stakeholder engagement for continued progress. Nigeria's experience provides valuable lessons for other African nations undertaking similar reforms, highlighting the need for context-specific solutions and coordinated regional efforts to achieve universal energy access. Strategic implications. Reform is a long-term process requiring sustained commitment beyond political cycles. Institutional capacity is critical for effective governance and performance improvement. Financial sustainability must accompany technical improvements to ensure sector viability. Stakeholder engagement is essential for maintaining social and political support. Context-specific solutions are necessary to address local conditions and constraints. Nigeria's power sector reform journey continues with ongoing efforts to address persistent challenges and capitalize on emerging opportunities. The sector's development trajectory will significantly influence Nigeria's broader economic prospects and its ability to achieve sustainable development objectives. The international community continued support provides reasons for optimism. But realizing the full potential of these reforms will require sustained effort, innovative solutions, and commitment from all stakeholders, including all of us here. Thank you for listening. Some of my references are as shown on the screen.
Wow, we are shocked. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for that wonderful lectures. I'm sure some of us were expecting that it won't make 40 minutes. But I was checking my time, 25 minutes. Please, a round of applause for him again. Now we believe in change. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite to the podium once again the President and Chairman in Council of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, FNSC. A round of applause for her.
Thank you. One of the things about my immediate predecessor is you can't predict him, unpredictability. So I didn't know that it would shock me. We had this discussion yesterday, and he said, there's no way he could manage 40 minutes. And I said there was no way I could add 1 minute. I reminded him of Ariafe Babalola in 2015 at our conference. He had come prepared with a very voluminous keynote address. And he said he needed 1 hour or 1.5 hours. I told him, sir, you have 20 minutes. He said, no, it's not possible. 45 minutes, I said 20 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes, I said 20 minutes, sir, and your time starts now. And it's one of the reasons that I concluded that I am a woman of substantial substance. Because he knew that I did not, and he said at the event that no judge, not even at the Supreme Court, had given him time while presenting his brief. Today, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil has shocked me. But I'm not too shocked because it's full of surprises, pleasant ones at that. And so, to honor him, I'd like to present to him. Please, sir, rise and remain standing. It is my honor I'm just being told that this is very heavy. So, oh wow. Thank God I'm not taking it anywhere. This is very special. So I'm sure that it's so heavy because we consider you somebody who is heavily loaded with very good stuff. And so I have the singular honor and privilege of presenting this special recognition award to you, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSC MNI, President 2022-2023, for being the distinguished lecturer at the 29th October lecture on this day, Friday, the 3rd of October, year 2025. Congratulations, sir.
Please, this is too heavy. I'm sure it's more than 10 kilograms.
So you need support.
I need the support of all the past presidents. I need my daddy here. I need the support of all MNIs, all fellows of the Defense College. I've seen you. Fellows of the Defense College. Where is Musa?
There's somebody that I'd like to invite before you continue. I'd like to invite the only female honorary fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Lady Josephine Nweze.
You are shooting me.
Yes, she's my fellow. She is my fellow. I had to invite her by myself. Please come forward, ma'am.
I'm not finished inviting. Okay, ma'am. Yes. The chairman of the House Committee on Power. You know we're talking about policy. We're talking about law. So you have to come up here. You need to come and support me. So please, let's go there. Thank God you're not flying. Thank God you're not flying. Yes, sir.
MNI.
Yes, sir.
We have not finished, so if I'm not.
Sorry, excuse me, please. In line with our tradition, apart from the plaque, which we expect him to keep in a very strategic place in his office, because even though he's retired, as he claims, he's still very active. We also have a special gift for you. And we believe that you will constantly say it and remind yourself of today. So I have the honor again of inviting you to please receive this token on behalf of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to the 33rd President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, FNSC MNI. Can we please give him a round of applause once more? Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue to the program schedule. May I now invite for his remarks our special guest of honor, Dr. Kola Adeshina, MFR, a honorary fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, who is ably represented here at this event by the head of Generation Sahara Power Group, Engineer Dr. Godwin Emmanuel, FNSC. Let's put our hands together for him.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. You can see how I'm bringing down the mic to coincide with my height. Now, I'm here to represent Dr. Kola Adeshina. For those of you who know him or who might have seen his video shortly, you know that there's no way I can get to that, both vertically and horizontally, I'm challenged. So yes, on a lighter note, Engineer Wudil and probably some of my old NEPA colleagues in this room, I don't know how you are feeling or how you feel. And I believe what will be in your mind now is, what am I feeling? To be honest, whenever I come to deliver keynotes or remarks on occasions like this, I usually feel sad. Now, I feel sad in the sense that I've spent over 30 years in this power industry in various capacities, just as my friend, Engineer Wudil. I have grandchildren, and I keep wondering, by the time they grow to age, and then they will start asking, Daddy, why are we not getting this power right? Meanwhile, you spend all your useful life in this power industry, even getting to the higher cadre. I know it will be a very difficult question to answer. Just yesterday, or rather early, before I came to this occasion, I don't have any clothes to wear. I had to wake up around 3 a.m. to tell them, please, so at least they're still light. Before the team will go, quickly iron something for me. You see, it's a pathetic situation. It's a time for us to reflect. What have we done to make sure that we contribute our own little quota into this power issue we've been talking about? Nigerian Society of Engineers, the engineering we are talking about here, there are a lot of areas, including power generation, distribution, and transmission. Today we are talking about reforms. I've been through almost all the reforms except ECN. Right from the time of NEPA, never expect power always. We've been there, including Engineer Wudil. I met you during grid code and all these things. My time have not started though. So it's something that we have to get worried. But then, I believe the solution have come. You'll be wondering where is the solution. The solution is right here. Yes. They said, whatever a man can do, a woman can do better. This is the first time we're having a female NSE president. In the person of Engineer Margaret Aina, I believe you will not leave this position without having to achieve something in this sector. Yes, I know NSE is not only power, but then you just have to. Like what Engineer Wudil said, he said, we don't have the ears of the government. I don't agree with that. This is Sahara power, not Sahara reporters. Please, as Showore is shouting, you will continue to shout. Let them hear your voice. The digital president, I know I met you last week or 2 weeks ago in Lagos. You always delivering lecture here and there. Why you delivered lecture in Shomolu Memorial, 10th Memorial Lecture? It means you are not tired yet. Please, continue to push. Let what we are doing here not just be a talk show. We just have to show it with action. You are digital president. Meanwhile, we have not seen this digitalization in our power industry, especially in transmission. So let's get to the issue of the day. You are there. You are still there. So I'm honored to stand here on behalf of the Group Managing Director of Sahara Power Group, Dr. Kola Adeshino, to convey his warm regards and express our company's appreciation for being part of this important dialogue on the Nigerian power sector. Let me begin by commending the Nigerian Society of Engineers for choosing a theme that could not be more relevant, evaluating the Nigerian power sector reforms from 2005 to 2023. This conversation is both timely and necessary because it is only by reflecting honestly on the progress we have made and the challenges we still face that we can chart a sustainable path forward. The reform story so far. The Electric Power Sector Reform Act of 2005 marked a historic turning point in Nigeria's economic journey. It opened up the sector to private participation, unbundled the value chain, and created an independent regulator, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC. Nearly 2 decades later, important gains have been recorded. 1, installed generation capacity has more than doubled, with Nigeria crossing the 13,000 megawatts. Apologies, I have to go through this again because I know we have seen it during the lecturer's lecture. Transmission wheeling capacity has expanded beyond 8,000 megawatts. Electricity rates risen from about 40% in 2005 to over 55% today. The creation of NEC has improved governance, tariff methodologies, and consumer protection framework. Private sector participation has driven investments in metering, embedded generation, captive power, and distribution networks. The discourse around renewable energy and energy transmission is now firmly on the national agenda. However, the journey is far complete. Critical challenges persist. Actual generation delivered to the grid averages less than 5,000 megawatts, far below national demand. Tariffs remain largely non-cost reflective, creating a liquidity crisis across the value chain. A metering gap of over 6 million consumers undermine revenue assurance and customer confidence. Transmission losses, technical inefficiencies, and frequent grid collapses continue to limit reliability. The market is heavily dependent on government interventions and subsidies. Regulatory uncertainties sometimes weaken investors' confidence. These realities remind us that while reform has set the stage and delivered measurable progress, much work remains to translate capacity into reliable supply. The next phase must therefore focus on consolidating the gains, closing the gaps, and ensuring that reform outcomes are felt not just in statistics, but in the daily lives of Nigerians. Technical performance and regulatory impact. From a technical standpoint, the reforms have created a framework but not yet delivered the full efficiency gains Nigerians desire. Before the reforms, generation plants were mostly government-owned, poorly maintained, and operating well below capacity. Today, with private participation, installed generation has expanded significantly, though challenges with gas supply, grid evacuation, and system stability still constrain output. Similarly, transmission used to be a weak link with limited wheeling capacity and little investment. Progress has been made with increased capacity and ongoing expansion. Yet, frequent grid collapses remind us of the urgent need to strengthen stability and deploy modern control systems such as SCADA for real-time monitoring. On the distribution side, reforms have brought a private investment, improved metering rollout, and customer service framework, but ATC and C losses remain high, and metering gap continues to undermine efficiency. Regulatory oversight has also evolved. Before 2005, tariff setting was largely arbitrary. With the establishment of NEC, we now have structured frameworks such as MITO and service-based tariffs, which have improved transparency and incentivized service delivery. However, enforcement must remain consistent and predictable to sustain investor confidence. Finally, in manpower, the sector once relied heavily on overstretched public sector engineers and limited training programs. Today, capacity building has improved through partnership, but far more investment in technical training and digital skills is needed to operate a modernized grid and integrate renewable effectively. Looking ahead, as we look forward, three imperatives stand out clearly: liquidity and tariff. From an engineering perspective, this is not just about finance. it is about sustainability. Projects require capital, and capital only flows where the revenue model is credible. Without a cost-reflective tariff regime that is also socially responsible, even the best engineered solutions cannot be financed, maintained, or scaled. For us as engineers, understanding the economics behind our designs is crucial because financing is the foundation upon which reliable infrastructure is built. Grid modernization. Investments must not only target new flexible digital and decentralized infrastructure, but also strengthen our existing national grid for stability and resilience. A stable grid is the backbone of reliable power supply, and without it, generation investments cannot translate into actual electricity delivered to homes and industries. Just 1 minute. Equally important, the grid must be flexible enough to accommodate the growing integration of decentralized state electricity markets and renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydro. This means building redundancy, adopting smart technologies for real-time monitoring and balancing, and creating interconnections that allow state and national grids to work seamlessly together. Renewable integration. This one has been mentioned by the chairman, so let me just cross over it. Our commitment as private sector. As private investors, Sahara Power Group has walked this journey from the earliest days of privatization. We have committed resources to generation, distribution, and gas supply, recognizing that power is the heartbeat of industrialization. We believe strongly in Nigeria's potential and hold firm to the conviction that there will be light. But for private capital to thrive, policies must be consistent, contracts must be honored, and an enabling environment must be assured. The reforms of yesterday must therefore evolve into the reforms of tomorrow. Reforms that require investors' confidence, encourage technological adoption, and ultimately serve the Nigerian people. Conclusion. Your Excellency is not here. Gentlemen, the power sector remains both Nigeria's greatest challenge and its greatest opportunity. If we get power right, every other sector, from agriculture to industry to digital services, will flourish. The reforms of 2005 laid the foundation. The task before us now is to deepen and accelerate those reforms with technical precision, regulatory courage, and unwavering political will. On behalf of Sahara Power Group, I assure you of our continued commitment to the journey. We will continue to invest, innovate, and collaborate because we believe that Nigeria's future is bright and that with collective effort, indeed, there will be light. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful remarks. May I now invite the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers to make this presentation.
Please, this way, sir. What can I say? You have spoken like somebody who has a very deep knowledge of the sector. Please give him another round of applause. On behalf of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, I present this appreciation plaque to Dr. Kola Adesina, MFR, Honorary Fellow, Nigerian Society of Engineers, GMD CEO, Sahara Group, Power Group, as the special guest of honor at the 29th October lecture of the Nigerian Society of Engineers on this day, Friday, the 3rd of October, year 2025. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam President, and congratulations to our special guest of honor, Dr. Kola Adeshina, MFR, Honorary Fellow of NSE. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for your time spent at this lecture. It's time to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you. And to give us the vote of thanks is the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Abubakar Halilu Muazu, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Can we please put our hands together for him?
Madam President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aina Oguntala, FNSE, Deputy President, Engineer Ali Rabiu, FNSE, FANG, FMR, Special Guest of Honor of this occasion, Dr. Kola Adeshina, FNSE, MFR. Our distinguished guest lecturer, immediate past president, Engineer Tasiu, Gidari-Wudil, FNSE, MNI, your eloquent presentation is highly appreciated. Revered past presidents of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, our ESCO members, vice presidents, fellows of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, corporate members, your excellencies, invited guests, we appreciate all of you for honoring us at this auspicious event with your presence. I thank our partners who have supported us to make this event a huge success. We thank all for coming and wish you safe journey back to your destinations. We thank the Almighty Allah for making this occasion called October lecture. We thank the Almighty Allah for making it possible, and we are praying to the Almighty Allah that all of us in this hall, everybody will go back to his destination safely. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, our guest lecturer, Alhamdulillah, our visitors, Alhamdulillah, our president. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our Executive Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go, I just want to hear from three people. Use one word to describe the lecture event for today. Just one word. Let's go quickly. All right. Thank you very much. Awesome, amazing, excellent, interesting, and smart. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this lecture. And especially one group I must thank, the people online. We appreciate you and we thank you. Please try and have your lunch. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for them, please. Yes, yes. All right, can we please be upstanding as we recite the third stanza of the national anthem as our closing prayer, and then the national anthem. After that, there will be a group photograph outside, so the cameramen are ready. Together we pray, O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. The national anthem. Thank you very much. The group photograph is outside. Thank you. Mr. President.
Now this mountain I must climb